Welcome back to my channel. I'm Amanda, and today we're playing with a few things. And so first I'm using my counterfeit kit challenge for June 2025, and I think this is my last one for this kit, and it's also scrapping with Helen 1,000 subscriber hop, and it's 30 days of sketches for Christie's Beautiful Life series 18, and it's Helen's sketch, so that works out really well. So I'm going to use Helen's sketch, and I'm going to do these Reno pictures of our house where we hired somebody to cut in an egress window into our basement, where is our master bedroom now. So I thought I'd put these on a page. My husband thought it was kind of funny that I did home reno pictures, and he's like, but why? Like, because why not? So I did. So I pulled out this wood grain from my paper, my kit, and which I have no idea who it's from, and I've had it forever. It's a really thin piece of paper, like super thin, and I'm just tearing both sides, because on Helen's sketch it looks like that yellow piece, that yellow orangey ombre piece, is torn. But instead of tearing the minty paper, which is, Minty is really thick paper and it's lovely, but I don't like to tear it very well. And this thin stuff is super easy. So I'm just gonna add it to the edge and cut it off. Had I been thinking about this a little bit more, I don't know if I would have cut it off here for 12 by 12 and then had a little bit more of that paper for that Mr. Fix-It Minty. I can speak, really I can. But nah, it is what it is. And so then I know I need something for the inside. Hers is blue. I'm going to use this black piece, which is very black right now, but I'm going to do something with that. And mine is probably probably quite a bit bigger than hers is. My piece of black is taking place of her blue. And I'm just going to use a full 8.5 by 11 piece of paper here, because I have a little more picture and I thought, why not? So I am getting this inside because I like both this metal piece and I like this electrical panel. So save as much as that I can. And then, so this is going to go on here, and I'm just going to use some glue. I got that glued on and adhered, and then I decided the black was too black. So these are some of my stencils, and I'm picking out stencils that might work with renovating. So there's this ruler that I think is kind of cute from Tim Holtz. And then I'm going to use this Crafter's Workshop one that has the brick, but has the veining that's coming out. And I'm going to use those two. So I'm going to use a pigment ink on the black just because the pigment will actually show up a little bit better than the dye. And so I do want it to show up, but I don't want it to be like over the top. So I have this colors, I think this one's Color Story, and pigment in this gray. And so I'm going to do this all over in this veined brick, which I think is super cool. And then I'm not entirely sure where my pictures are going to go. And she does have two vertical pieces of paper, but I'm not entirely sure where I'm going to put those. So I'm just going to do a good portion of this black, just because if anything is showing up, I want it visible that it's not just plain black. And so I am re-inking my dauber and then doing some second generation with whatever's left on there, and I did around the edge with the gray, and then I decided the white, or I wanted a little bit more visible for the ruler, and so I'm going to use the Hero Arts Unicorn White, and it shows up really well. It dries a little bit darker than how like white it is right now, but good enough. And it's just scattered a little bit everywhere, and that works well. So I do know she's got 2 vertical strips, and so I am going to use this side of the paper. We're putting in the window, but we also did electrical work and a whole bunch of other stuff. I don't think I have pictures of the electrical work being done, but I do have pictures of this, and I do have pictures of like the framing out, and we had to jackhammer some of it to like put in plumbing, and most of the work we did ourselves, or most of the work my husband did. A lot of it I helped with, but I do not have that expertise, but my husband definitely does. So I cut these all to different sizes. I just wanted to keep what the main focus of the picture was. And then I do know I want that strip to be a little bit longer, and I'm trying to decide how to do that. So as I'm thinking about that, I am scuffing the edges of all the photos. So I don't show you all of that, but I have this sanding block that was from Coordinations, when you could get Coordinations paper. I don't know if you can still get the Coordinations paper, but I still have some of it. But I have the sanding block, which is super old. And so I sanded all the edges to give just a tiny bit of white outline. It does give a little bit of distressing too, and doesn't actually add a photo mat, which sometimes is needed. So I'm deciding on how I can match this paper up, so I can extend this piece so it runs longer like it is in the sketch. So my piece isn't probably going to be as wide as what Helen's is, but as long-ish, maybe. So I'm just, how do I want to do this? So I left a little bit of this fussing in just because there was some fussing that happened. And then I decided, well, this dark line right here, if I have it showing, kind of makes it look like there's a little bit something else going on there. And then 2 of the lines on the side line up. So I thought that would work pretty good. So I glued a little strip, and then I'm just gonna cut off the pieces that don't need to stay behind, because I want to keep as much of that as I can. To take a little bit of it off the top and the bottom so that it's inside the bigger mat. And then this next strip is going to be another part of this paper, but with the wires, and it doesn't have to be full length because my photos are going to hide it. So I'm just putting in a couple of the pieces that way, and that works out pretty good. And get this glued on. I find like the minted paper has like a smoothness to it that a lot of times I feel like I have to use my glue on it. My tape runner is out anyway, but that paper is paper I would typically glue instead of tape runner. And then I'm putting my photos down. Her photos, she's got 3 and they're kind of staggered, a little bit overlapping. I have 4. So to make them all fit on my page, they kind of have to look like this, and that's totally okay. So I do have them in the sequential order of what this happened. I do want a little bit of embellishment, so I thought about this house with the gold, and then I pull it off right away because there was a single story, not a 2-story. Our house is not a 2-story. It's not going to matter in the end because that one's not going to stay either. And then in the middle here, I kind of wanted to make that middle part a little less messy. It felt really messy to me, so I put that word sticker that says "Home is where the heart is." That was really cute. And then I'm going to pull out my Rest and Revs from 49 and Market, which was also in my counterfeit kit this month. And I haven't actually used any of this one, so I'm going to cut out 2 of the stitch tassel pieces. Oh, that was hard to say. There's 2 in brown, and so that's going to go on the upper and the lower, because why not? So right here where one of the hearts is, it's going to go there. And then my clusters are going to be my cluster. Yeah, I don't know if I really call these clusters, but my embellishments are not going to be quite in the same spot. That's okay. And then I'm going to put the other one here because I might as well use both. I looked at them for a minute, and then I was looking for my popsicle stick, and I have no idea where I put it. So I'm using the end of my spatula, which is a wood handle. It does not work very well, but it is what it is. So it's a little painful. I need to find where I put my other one, but normally it's in there's that marker kind of thing beside my baskets where you can kind of see the hole punch. That's usually where I have it, but I did not put it away the last time I used rub-on, so I know now it's on my desk and it's underneath the whole pile of stuff that I have to the right of me, but I couldn't see it from the trees from the forest, so oh well. So this worked-ish well enough. It's on there. So then I pulled out these memory makers. I think this is memory makers alphas. These are super, super, super old. They have kind of like a corduroy feel, and I thought that worked well with this page. Why? I don't know. I just liked it. So I'm just going to spell out Reno and get some of these on here in the different colors. I thought that purpley kind of worked with the wood grain. Not perfectly the same, but oh well. I like the way it looks, so not a big deal. The bigger letters I'm overlapping with the photo a little bit more. The smaller ones are touching the photo, but not as overlapped. And I like that. And I chose to glue them right away because I don't think the adhesive will adhere. And then I decided this house has to come out because the scale is off. So I am going to tuck this house, even though it's a two-story, underneath the R because that's super cute and it's a home reno. So that's going to be part of my title. So home reno is my title. And that is all I'm going to do for embellishing on this one. So that is my close-ups here. It was a super easy one to do. Really like how it turned out. It has some texture on it. It's just, yeah. So those are the rub-ons. They don't look as visible on camera, but do look a little bit better in person. And then some of my stenciling with the brick and the overlay for the rulers. There's my title. And the upper part. And then I think it's the whole layout. Thank you so much for watching today. Congratulations to Helen and her 1,000 subscribers. That's amazing. There'll be a playlist for Helen below, as well as 30 days of sketches and links to Helen and the Facebook groups that those also are part of. Thank you so much again. Have yourself a wonderful day.